Hello, this is Joe Specia, Superintendent of the Wickliffe City School District, and your host for this podcast about the Wickliffe Schools and their new facility project. The Wickliffe Schools are asking voters to approve a $59.9 million bond issue that would rebuild the entire district. The decision to do this comes after 3 years of study, gathering input from the community, and examining the conditions of our current facilities. With me today is Pat Jewell, a longtime resident, teacher, and academic coach. Pat will talk about her interest in the program and why she thinks it's important for the students and the community of Wickliffe. Pat, thanks for joining me today. Talk a little bit about yourself, your history in Wickliffe, and your interest in the project.
Gladly. I grew up in Wickliffe. I moved to Wickliffe in 1963 when I was 5 years old and grew up in the Wickliffe schools. My dad taught in the Wickliffe schools for 17 years. And I moved back to Wickliffe so that my kids could go to school there and want my grandkids to go to school there. The Wickliffe schools are known for helping people develop excellence, to learn beyond, to know how to use their education to do amazing things. And we need to keep that. We need the future kids to have what we had and what my children had.
Well, Pat, that said, talk about the importance of strong schools in a community and talk about how new facilities would support education and would, in fact, support the community.
Absolutely. My job right now is I teach technology, and I see how technology is changing the world. And to have schools where kids can learn how to use the technology and how to develop technology. And we have a Wickliffe graduate who actually invented the portable dialysis machine, has saved countless lives through this invention. We have a lot of people who've done amazing things. What if we could have the facilities to do more so that these kids are the forerunners everywhere? It also gives us the opportunity to have the kids do so much in terms of working together, changing the way the facilities work, changes how the kids receive their education. Today in workplaces, it's not everybody sitting at a separate desk. It's everybody working together to make change happen. The kids are our future, not just their future, they're our future. They're the world's future. We have a lot of problems to solve in this world. These are the kids that could do it.
And I think we agree. I appreciate that. You know, the plans for the new facility include larger, more flexible classroom space, and you've talked about that, collaboration space where students can work together on projects, assignments, classwork, and so forth, state-of-the-art technology, and I know that's near and dear to you. And as a teacher, can you talk a little bit more about how each of those things impacts learning?
Absolutely. We don't live in a world anymore where it's based upon you have to know how to open an encyclopedia. That's not the life today. Life is so much different. Jobs are different. The world is different. The collaboration, the working together, the ability to use the technology as it grows and changes. You know, if I hand one of my students a new apparatus, I want them to be able to go, I can figure this out. I can do something with this. Technology isn't a problem. Technology can be a solution to many things. And for these kids to be able to do that and to have the room and the space and to apply it to real life, that's how problems will get solved. It's no longer a matter of read that book. It's a matter of how does that book apply to what's going on here? And what do we do? And that's what a new facility will give us the ability to do. And we're already doing it in Wickliffe. Wickliffe is still an excellent, excellent school. This will help us do that better.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that perspective, especially from a teacher with your kind of experience. It really helps us to understand the value and importance of facilities. The facility committee had several guiding principles as they went about planning and making these decisions. One of them was to ensure that the facility was safe and sustainable. So when you think about safety and sustainability in schools, what comes to mind? What matters most to you?
over the years, and this is my 41st year of teaching, over the years, I have been in many buildings, older buildings, newer buildings, and when you have a wide variety of kids with a wide variety of needs, you need a place where they can get in and out and they safely. Again, you don't want, I've been in buildings where I worried about kids, to be honest with you, because how do you make this building so that they can have all the technology, they can have all of what they need, and they can have it in a space where they're not going to be worried about fires. They're not going to be worried about, safety of people coming in, right? Like how we live in a world where we have to keep our kids safe from people coming in. I mean, I wish it weren't true, but this is reality. And we can't go on old models for that. And how do we make it so that as things change, our facilities can still be useful? The old model of buildings was great at the time. It's not the way life is today.
Sure. And building flexible spaces allows that.
Exactly. Having the ability to say, wow, we can use these classrooms, but we can change these spaces, we can add here, I've been in older buildings where it's hard to do the technology because you only have one outlet in the room. Right?
Sounds a little bit like Wickliffe Elementary School right now.
It is very much.
Yes.
And Wickliffe Elementary is an old building. If you have a kid in a wheelchair, how are they going to get around that building? Easily, safely?
Sure.
If a kid with cerebral palsy, how do they use those stairs easily? Let's find ways to make this for all students who come in the door.
Much appreciated. Thank you for that. Let's talk nuts and bolts a little bit, and let's talk about the dollars. Okay, the bond issue is asking for $59.9 million. The cost of that is about $33 a month per $100,000 of home valuation. Of course, that price comes down for eligible seniors as they would only pay about $25 a month. Why do you think such an investment is so important and so valuable? And what do you see as the return on that investment?
That's a very good question. People see that first number and they go, oh, 59 million, but no human being in Wickliffe is paying 59 million, right? This is at $25 or $33 a month. This is an investment in our future. As I mentioned earlier with Mr. Grubbs, who invented the portable dialysis machine, and others who've gone forward, investing in the kids invests in us, in our community. Keeping strong schools keeps a strong community. I tell people all the time, move to Wickliffe. We have an excellent school system in Wickliffe. We have an excellent community. We have people who care about each other. And if we can think of that as we're doing this for our community, but also doing this for others, when these kids go out and they can do things that will make the world better, then we've won. All of us. And I don't have kids in the school anymore. I'm not doing this because I want this education for my own children. I did. But I'm doing this because this is for all of us together. Wickliffe has, generations of pride. This is what Wickliffe has been, right? And I love the new initiative. But I know many of my generation still think of this as our kids have gone and our grandkids have gone. But it isn't just for us. This is for all those people out there who need these kids are bright. The academic challenge team I coach has been invited to nationals 4 years in a row, and we'll go again. They are incredible kids, very bright, very capable. They work together as a team. When they go forth and they put their minds to what they're doing, they're going to be unstoppable. And we owe it to them and to their future and to our future to give them the very best.
I want to share a story with you very quickly before you go on. So I was at the senior center a couple of months ago, and I had the opportunity to talk to a 96-year-old woman who's a resident of Wickliffe, always had been, and she said, young man, and I really like that. Okay. She said, young man, I went to that Lincoln school, the elementary school, when I was just a child, and it was almost a brand new school. And I said, yes, ma'am, it's, soon to be 98 years old. She says, yes, that's right. And she says, and it's about time you built new school buildings.
That's awesome.
So I thought that was really neat. In fact, we're going to invite her on, and she told me, she says, I don't like being on camera. But you feel free to share that story, she said to me. So you were talking about pride and support, and actually, as you think about pride and support, what's that look like to you? And how is it that you see the community, or how can you see the community supporting this particular issue?
That's a very good point. There's several ways I see people helping. Our pride in the schools needs to translate into some kind of action, and we all have different ways we can do that. Mm-hmm. One way, of course, is to actually help with the committee, help get the information out, and say, hey, what can I do to support you? That's at the high end of it, right? At the other end, though, there's information on the social media about it. Not all of it is accurate. Some of it is angry. And it's okay to say, I don't agree with that. I understand you're upset, but here's the real facts. This is $25 a month or $33 a month. And it's okay to say in a kind way, I want to give you the real information here. Mm-hmm. And to publicly come out and support it. If you can work election day, if you can be at the polls and encourage people, if you can encourage your neighbors, if you can say, this is important. And again, it doesn't matter if you've got kids in the school. It doesn't matter if you're older or younger. It matters for the city. It matters for the kids. And so that's where I think we need to be, is like, what can I do? If I hear something about it and it's negative, what can I do to turn that into a positive? I do that with most things. Sure. Right?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
So, but I think in this case, there are people upset and angry, but some of the information they're getting is not right. And it's important they get it right. So I think that's a major part of this. As a community, we've always been very good at working together, and we need to keep doing that. I was pleased to say I did go to the 70s reunion this summer. Mm-hmm. It was a blast. And there were a couple of people there who had disagreed with me on Facebook about something, and we were fine. We stayed friends. We can talk. We don't want this to divide us. And that takes effort on everybody's parts. This takes looking at it going, wait, I don't have to go against this. I don't have to divide the community with this. And I need to be careful what I'm saying.
And this is an opportunity to unite the community, because one of the things the new facilities will be is a community hub. Yes. Open and available to all members of the community to use in a lot of different ways, use our technology and use our maker spaces and those types of things. So we're pretty excited about that as well. Before we close, because we're getting near that point in which we do have to close, is there anything that maybe we didn't talk about or I didn't ask that you wanted to make sure people knew about?
I think you did a great job. This is awesome. I so appreciate you having me do this today. I think I just want to say to my fellow Wickliffians, thank you so much, all of you, for just always being that community for me and for my family. And some of you know my family went through a rough time there for a little bit, and you were there. And that means a lot. And so I just want to say now, I'm with you on this, and let's work together and let's do what we can for the kids. Thanks.
Thank you, Pat. We appreciate your thoughts, your insights, your support of the district. And as we close, we ask everyone listening and everybody watching this to get out and I'll say vote for issue 3, which is the Wickliffe City Schools bond issue.
Yes.
Thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you.